Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From the original walk-ons, Burbank and Nicholson. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro. Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Colucci with us at the bottom of the hour. Found out why that guy fired a coach that took his hockey team all the way to the finals, man.
He didn't fire him.
I know.
You're gonna present it to him like that?
Well, yeah, we got to give him a little bit of grief about that. I mean, they get on us about how many changes are made in the Southeastern Conference and how ridiculous it is with coaches sometimes. I think how many Super Bowl
Who's
losers?
they? Not him.
No,
you don't know who's in the Southeastern Conference.
Got to give him how many Super Bowl losing coaches have lost their job before the next season?
Super Bowl participating.
Yeah,
coach?
the losing coach. That's essentially what we got here, right?
But he didn't get fired, Charlie.
I know, but I'm going to make it like he got fired.
Oh.
You know, you try to keep that guy, right? He brings to the Stanley Cup Final. You try to keep that guy. I
know Coach of the Year got fired one time in the NBA, but that's a totally different thing. He actually, from what I understand, he told them up front, this is going to be a 1 year, finish out this year, and I'm done. And of all things, I heard that he was kind of having second thoughts. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Like maybe he wanted to come back. But the way he handled himself and barks at the reporter and stuff like that, that's the dumbest question. And he's got a reputation for having wearing out his welcome very quickly. Yeah. But anyway, we can mess with him.
Oh, sure.
Yes, and I could chime in. You know, well played, State. I mean, that's ridiculous. Charlie told me that they fired that guy. I mean, what a run!
Why did you fire that guy?
You know, to just recap, they were very close to not even making the playoffs.
Wow!
Like
okay.
they finished. They were like a game and a half or 2 games from being out the playoffs. When 16 teams make it.
How crazy, you know, is hockey? Or wait a minute, maybe that happened in college baseball too. A team that barely made it into the tournament is now playing for a title in Oklahoma.
Oh, well, that's happened before.
Last
team in, last team out.
22 at Ole Miss.
Don't let the Sooners get hot.
Well, they are. the time for don't let them get hot is
you got it right.
Past.
I got to give you credit. I said I like Georgia to win it all. I mean, you see the trees, the cutouts for the trees on the fence.
Yeah.
They talked to Wes Johnson. What do you think about the flags blowing out? I love it. I mean, they just
sure.
How much of that ballpark, the way it plays in Athens, is going to, kind of limit them when they get to Omaha?
So they hit 174 homers coming into the College World Series. They had 5 in 4 College World Series games. Now, so you say, well, you can't hit home runs up there. Well, Oklahoma hit 5 yesterday, including 2 light-hitting, 2 guys yesterday that came into the game with 4 home runs for the season. Each hit 2. Okay.
Well, we talked about it. It was uncharacteristic of the way the wind was howling out yesterday.
It was.
And they said that might even have the record day. That's right. What fell a home run short? The record is 8 for one day.
Yeah.
They hit 7. Only 1 in the first game, 6 in the late game.
Right. And North Carolina scored all those runs and didn't hit a home run.
Correct.
Yeah. So if you say, well, Georgia averaged 9.4 runs a game in the regular season. Now, this is home and road, okay? And they hit 326 as a team. Well, in the CWS, they averaged 4 runs a game and hit 183. Yes, the ballpark is a bandbox, and we're going to talk about the home run record here in a second. But they hit on the road, too. They won prior to the College World Series. They were 23-7 in the regular season. They won 3 games at the SEC tournament against SEC competition. They beat Mississippi State twice. Now, that was back in Athens, okay? So at that point, you're 28-7 against it. You won 80% of your games against SEC teams. Then you come to Omaha, and you beat the best pitcher in the tournament, the most talented pitcher in the tournament, Valanis, 7-1. And then you beat Texas again, but you lose 2 games to Oklahoma. I can't back this up with any number that Oklahoma comes to this.
Well, at home and away, they're not playing 50% home, 50% on the road. They're playing close to 2/3 of their games at home.
Right.
44 at home, 16 on the road, 7 neutral.
Mm-hmm.
So 44-23. I mean, that's 1 away from being, had they got eliminated early in the SEC tournament, it would have been a little bit more than 2-1. So the park is a big part, Charlie, of this adjusting. Now, how do you think they performed when they went to the Hoover Met? Because they did. Now, that was a record amount of home runs, but that is the closest thing to the way the park plays to what they see in Omaha. Fair?
Yeah. Sure,
I mean,
sure. Absolutely.
They did okay.
They scored 24 runs in 3 games. They averaged 8 runs a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, what do we say? The great thing about the College World Series stage, some guys raise their level of play,
yeah,
and some guys choke. Or just let the stage get to them. It's a little bit of a choke.
From the hitters,
it's a little bit of it. Come on.
Your bats went cold at the worst possible time. There's no question about it. And to kind of add insult to injury a little bit with this is you got better pitching up there than you could have ever hoped for. I mean, if you'd have told Wes Johnson when he was getting on the plane in Athens to go to Omaha, you're going to get 2 complete games in the first 2 games.
No.
I mean, so your hitters choked, your pitchers overachieved what they had.
So how much you think was the approach? It's a little easier for a pitcher to attack the zone because he knows, anything up in the air is just not sailing 75 feet over the damn scoreboard.
Yeah.
I mean, how much is, it's kind of hard to change the approach. And let me tell you, and I talked about it a lot. I couldn't believe when I was watching. And how do you not? But the swings. Did you watch the Super between State and Georgia?
Yeah.
The swings were just obnoxious, man. Everything was Byron Buxton.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just.
And maybe that was the way to play in that park.
Right, but how do you? Manera used to say you can't change your approach when you've been swinging like this the whole year.
And Jay Johnson kind of said similar things. We had an off-season deal with him. I didn't see Georgia swinging out of their shoes yesterday. Okay, they struck out 6 times. That's not an agree. I didn't see a lot of warning track fly balls. I just saw them not making a lot of solid contact.
They didn't.
A lot of weak ground balls.
And
weak fly balls.
We'll give the Oklahoma pitchers some credit. Okay, I get it, but damn, no. They face way tougher than Mercurius in the freshman last night.
They beat Valanis. They beat Valanis.
Yes. Well, yeah. So why can they chase him? Who's going to be? And I understand we've seen, but not in this park as much as Rosenblatt, where top 10 pitchers went, got batted around pretty good. Not so much in this park.
No, and Valanis was his own worst enemy. He hit 4 guys. Okay, so that was part of it.
He didn't handle the stage.
He didn't have nearly as good a game, and his defense let him down. 5 of those runs were unearned. Remember the 2 strikeouts he got that ended up being wild pitches, and that led to two of those runs in that first inning. So it wasn't all that either. But they had 6 hits yesterday against.
Oh, they barely even threatened.
Yeah.
They didn't. I mean, with the wind blowing out like that, I mean, it was just. I was surprised, man. They didn't really barrel up. They weren't hitting a lot of shots right at people.
No. And Oklahoma, okay, can you hit the ball out of the park yesterday? Yeah. They hit one to straightaway center. I appreciate Kyle Peterson and the guys giving us a stat. 7th ball since they moved to CWS to Schwab in 2011. It's gone out to straightaway center.
Oh, really?
7 balls. Yeah.
That's a lot of games, man.
Yeah. You've been in this
Well,
park for
if you're
15
going to
years
hit
now.
one, if you're going to hit one,
And
it's gonna be
it was
last
wind
night.
dated yesterday,
Oh,
but
yes, indeed, it
But he
was
still
wind
hit the
dated.
doggone ball 420 feet.
I understand, but you're not hitting it if the wind's not blowing.
Not
out.
to straightaway center.
No, that's not happening.
It's just
No.
it's too hard to get it out there.
No.
There is no indication that this team goes on this run. Their home runs were 125th in the nation, and now they are 30. You said?
Well,
I got the exact number here.
Well, I'm the one that refuses to acknowledge that there's plenty of notice that they to not be totally surprised at what happened last night. When you're talking about the top 5 conferences, you had the regular season champion and the tournament champion, and the four major in the Sun Belt. I mean, UCLA number 1, regular season and tournament. Georgia Tech number 2, Georgia, Kansas. What if knocked out 3 of them, Charlie?
Yeah.
They beat in multiple times. So, okay, you got us once. No, we gonna bounce back. No. How many times did they beat? How many times did they play Georgia Tech? 3.
3.
They played. They beat Kansas 2.
Yep.
And they beat Georgia 2. So they are 6-1 against these teams.
Yeah.
5 of the 7 are on the road, and the other 2 neutral. No, this path. I mean, we talk about it's because it is a similar path. They were not maybe the last team in, but they were didn't have a ton of room to spare.
No.
They were one of the lower seeds. They were 3 seed, right?
No, there were 2.
They were 2.
There were 2 at Georgia.
Was that Ole Miss a 2 or a 3?
They were 2.
They were 2 that year.
Oh, no. They were 3 that year.
That year.
I thought
We
you
were
meant this
comparing
year.
the runs.
Yeah. No, Ole Miss was a 3. They were the absolute last team in. Oklahoma, if I had to guess, I'd say there might have been 5 teams behind them.
Okay.
Something like that.
That's not.
Their RPI was still pretty
not-
high for a team that finished 11th.
But did Ole Miss beat this many good teams? These teams with these credentials?
I don't know. I don't remember them beating anybody as they must have. But
Georgia
I'm trying to remember.
Tech, the 2 and 3 seeds,
Yeah, probably not
going
2 and 3
4-1 against them.
No. And for a team to hit 48 home runs in their first 47 games, to hit 43 in the last 16.
They are. The freshman pitchers have obviously. We know that there's a room for improvement over the course of the season your first year.
Yeah.
We get that. Okay, but the power numbers, and when it gets warmer, I mean the ball travels more. Okay, we know that, but that's the more surprising thing. But Charlie, right now we can't be surprised. And listen, I walk off in Atlanta on that Monday by the first baseman or catcher. I forget which one he is. Thacker, what's his name?
LaChance?
No.
No. The first baseman?
Yeah.
Tucker?
Tucker. Yeah. He's the one that hit the walk-off.
Taki.
Yeah. The mom had this jersey on, the whole thing. You hear the play-by-play guys call it that?
Yeah, they didn't think it was out off the bat. Not even close.
Because that's a yank.
Yeah.
That's a big old batter's eye. And in dead center field at Georgia Tech. And it just won him.
Kept going and
yes.
going and
Yes,
going.
I mean, that's a... No, these guys are crushing the ball.
Tell me this, because there was a point in the 6th inning where I thought Georgia was going to get them. And this is when Mercurius came in the game, loaded the bases, then walked in a run, and there's still only, I believe there was 1 out at that point. It's a 5-3 game, okay? And Mercurius, he has done this before. He was their Friday night guy for a while. He lost the Friday night job. We're talking about L.J. Mercurius, there's 2 of them. He lost that job.
Freshman or the junior?
This is the junior now, last night.
Yeah, he came in relief.
He came in relief,
Closed
but
it
he
out.
was their Friday night guy for a while. In fact, for most of the SEC season. He lost that job mainly because of the walks. And when he walks 2 guys, and they've already pushed in a run, and they got the bases loaded, I'm like, here's Georgia's chance. Because if they get to him and he starts to go wild, it's a 2-run game, man. They're 1 poke away from being right back in this thing. And Mercurius settled down. He got out. He gave up 2 runs, but he got out of it. And I think they charged 1 back to the other guy, but they gave up the 2 runs, and that was it. Well, Oklahoma could never do that in the regular season. Mercurius got in trouble. They brought in a guy behind him. He got in trouble too. They finished 14-16 in the league, and I think 6 or 7 of those wins were against the bottom quarter of the league. No, there is no. What's one of our pet peeves? When guys on teams that win, they get in the post game or they get in the locker room, whatever, and they say, "Everybody count us out. Nobody thought we would be here. We everybody doubted us." And you're like, "Guys, y'all were 10-point favorites, okay?"
Yeah.
Well, when they got the shortstop Willits on the field after the game, he goes, "You know what? Everybody doubted us. Nobody thought we could be here." And I'm like, "Young man, you are absolutely right." I cannot say anything other than I am flabbergasted.
It applies here.
But this time you're right.
But we saw Fresno State win it as a 4 seed.
As a 4 seed, yeah. And we didn't think they would be there.
What was Coastal?
Coastal was a 2 seed in the.
But I mean, how was it? We talk when we're handicapping golf all the time. You hear our contributors talk about form. Well, Oklahoma's form is. I mean, they're
lousy
hot.
coming into the tournament.
There's hot. There's and it's supposed to be. There's momentum in baseball. It's the next day starting pitcher. But bats can get hot. Bats get hot, and they go through slumps. And for most of the season, these two teams played comparable schedules. The two last night, and there was no comparison. But they're hot. Georgia's numbers are inflated based on the park and how it plays, and they didn't handle the stage, man. They were. I mean, there was a lot of tears, there were a lot of disbelief, but man, they just didn't have quality at bats. They went down too easily, whether a strikeout or just very weak swings, and. That was not the they had much more competitive at bats, much more quality at bats against a much tougher pitcher on paper. This is a team that they didn't. What's the first mental approach? You have to respect your opponent.
Yeah, I mean,
did they respect their opponent because they had much better at bats against a much more accomplished pitcher?
I'll listen to any theory on Georgia and give it at least some credence, but what it strikes me more than anything is there's just something magical happening with Oklahoma right now, and it's been going on for 3 weeks. I don't think they could keep this up for 3 more weeks, but I think they can keep it up for 3 more games. There's no reason. Georgia Tech was better than them numerically. Kansas had the home field advantage, probably should have beat them. Georgia definitely had the better team for the course of the regular season and the first part of the tournament, and they beat them. They have, and North Carolina has got better numbers than them, and they probably, at this point, I'm done doubting Oklahoma. There's just something magical going on there right now.
We're live over here at the Original Walk-Ons, and we were here last time. We were talking about their new summer type of lighter menu items that they've added: the blackened chicken bowl, the glazed grilled shrimp bowl as well, and another one that is sort of on the light side. And I love this entree. I'm going to get it for lunch today. The Tuscan chicken is back. How about that? We love that stuff. So it's just really good menu item. Blackened chicken with sort of a tomato relish with it, man, with a different a little basil and pesto, just kind of an Italian herbs, I guess, say, with a little broccolini on the side. You talk about good, man. I love it. So excited to have the Tuscan chicken back as well. We talk about our summertime specialty drinks as well. So the lemon basil spritz, the white peach fizz are just a few that are light and refreshing, and in the spirit of the World Cup. And then you come over here to Walk-Ons. We got the flags representing all the participating teams in the World Cup. Got the World Cup on right now. It's on around the clock. The Czechs with an early lead over South Africa, 1-0. 18 minutes in, we got the U.S. Open on over here. We got coverage of the Knicks parade as well. So always fun to watch everything. Boy, that does look lynxy at Shinnecock today, huh? Does that look like the British Open or what?
It does in the weather, especially.
Yeah, everything.
They delayed them for about an hour this morning, so they're running a little bit behind. But yeah, absolutely, it looks lynx conditions.
And of course, we got the championship series in the world, the College World Series, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So still check out all the action. We got afternoon baseball today and Major League Baseball today here at the Original Walk-Ons, just off of on Burbank, just off of Nicholson.
Live at the Original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
You can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. Our on-demand coverage is brought to you by Supreme Rice, celebrating 90 years in business here in 2026, supporting our Louisiana farmers. Go to supremerice.com. The other half of the College World Series bracket, a lot more as expected. North Carolina was the highest-rated team on that side, and they went straight through. They were able to pitch down yesterday, although they had to use a whole bunch of bullpen, but they did not have to bring back any of their weekend or their top two guys. West Virginia did. Chance and Cole, he had thrown 52 pitches in the opener. They brought him back. Whether it was because they brought him back on 4 days rest and that broke his routine, or if North Carolina was just too good yesterday, he didn't get out of the third. And Ian Korn, who came in behind him, who was brilliant in relief of Cole in the opener, got West Virginia that opening win, got hit hard in his second time out. North Carolina had to use 5 different relievers, and they had to bring in Glauber, the fabulous freshman, to kind of slow things down when it looked like West Virginia was putting together a rally. They got 5 in the 7th, but they had fallen so far behind by that point. It was 12-1. So North Carolina does what every team hopes to do when they go up there. Throw your top 2 guys in the first 2 games, get in the winner's bracket, pitch down in the third game, get through that one, and then have basically 2.5, almost 3 full days off to get your pitching in line to go to the championship series and take your best shot with the best pitching in the remaining in the tournament. LSU did this last year, so did Coastal actually. Both teams went straight through and had their pitching in line. 23, LSU did not have their pitching in line. So North Carolina can bring back DeCaro, they can bring back Jensen, and they're going to be, well, they are the favorite. Oklahoma, same thing. It's just that their frontline pitching has not been frontline pitching for very long, just last few weeks. So North Carolina gets through. Well, they're the favorites.
You saw them against Georgia's lineup. You don't think they can do that against Carolina's lineup?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. That's what I'm saying. If North Carolina and Oklahoma stayed in Omaha for another month and played every day, North Carolina would beat them way more often than Oklahoma beat them. But in 3 games, right now, Oklahoma, if they, I don't know, it's almost like if they check a swing and the ball hits the bat, it's going to bloop somewhere. If a guy hits a screamer for the other team, it's going to go right into somebody's glove. It's just one of those. The run will come to an end, but they only need 2 more games. So I understand why North Carolina's a favorite. I would make them the favorite, but I'm picking Oklahoma.
Would you?
Yeah. Right. If I'm an odds maker, I have to play the percentages. Right. We can ask Colucci. What I know he doesn't follow college baseball, but
in your mind, what do you think? Give me your win probability. Not you're not taking action on it. Okay. What's your prediction? Your win probability.
Right now, I'm going to say Oklahoma's maybe 60%.
I'm with you. Yeah,
and
I mean you base a resume. I mean you have a 2 seed, a 17 to 32 seed right. against the 5 seed.
Yeah.
Of course. They're going. But both teams are rested. Mm-hmm. Were you surprised they brought in the high school senior last night?
A little bit.
Or yesterday afternoon against West Virginia with that big lead.
They were up 12. You get a little gun shot there. They were up 12-1, and then all of a sudden it's 12-6, and the bases are loaded. Okay, and so you're like, man, or maybe there was 2-1 at that point when it got to 6. You're like, man, I'm a 2-run double away from being in a tussle. Let me just put an end to this right now. It's not like they didn't try to get out of it. They used 3 other guys before they went to him. So I just think he got.
Well, they went out of turn. They didn't use Ralphie.
They didn't use Ralphie, but they used 3 other guys to try to get him through this thing, and they brought the senior in, Paget. Okay, he's thrown 18 innings all year, and they're like, look, man, we're going to hand you an 8-run lead. Just go in there and. Pow, pow, pow. I mean, he threw 6 pitches, and all of a sudden, you get a little bit nervous. But, yeah, I was a little bit surprised.
Could be just almost like a bullpen day for him. It may want to get him his his feet, a little. And I know he's come in and thrown well, but I mean, just to, I don't know, get him a little bit more settled. I don't think he's completely settled. I mean, it might, just every time he toes that rubber is going to make him a little bit more comfortable in a championship series. Yeah. May have something to do with just a little. Not a huge surprise, but I mean, a little. And it was only my attention. You had to catch yours. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It was only the 7th inning when that happened. So, if when they got it to 12-7, it's like, okay, y'all got a chance. You got 6 more outs to play with here. So that's I think the reasoning behind that. I wanted to touch on one more thing before we move on from the college baseball. I always considered LSU's 188 home runs an unbreakable record in a season, because they changed the equipment after that. They outlawed the nuclear bats, and I'm just like, well, nobody will ever approach that number again. Of the top 10 teams all-time in home runs in a season, now 4 of them have happened in the last 4 years. 2 of them with Georgia and 2 of them with Tennessee. And if Georgia had won, Georgia ends up 9 short. If Georgia had won the game yesterday, I know they lost, but if they had won the game yesterday and played again today and won again today, they would have had a very legitimate chance to break this record. Tennessee, 2 years ago, came within 11. Now, they played pretty much the maximum amount of games. They played 72. If Georgia would have gotten to play in the championship series, they would have had a legitimate chance to break this record. Hey, these 4 shots at LSU's record have all come from 2 teams, Tennessee and Georgia. Both play in bandbox parks, okay? But I no longer consider that record unbreakable as I once did. There's more velocity. The kids are bigger and stronger. It's nothing but hitters' parks in the Southeastern Conference. I thought that record would stand forever. It's a breakable record now, under the right circumstances.
They're more velo, which creates more of a chance, creates more power, bigger, stronger. I think the most alarming thing of all college baseball was not just this week, because we know about, but what happened in Hoover when the SEC tournament, and they set a record for like how many days, and it calmed down a little bit as it went. But I mean, that usually the ball doesn't leave the park as much as it did, as frequently as it did, as easily as it did. It wasn't a whole lot of cheap ones in the SEC tournament this year.
A lot of big, strong guys, a lot of velocity, and a lot of home runs. That record is probably going to fall at some point.
We talked about our friends at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, their big event today. But because of the weather, it has been postponed till next week. So put it on your calendar for next week. So that'll be Thursday, June 25th. Thursday, June 25th, 2 to 9 p.m. So it's RSVP is recommended but not required. So it's a open house event with a catered event, light bites and drinks. You can tour the state-of-the-art facility, exclusive one-day pricing on select treatments and skincare products. So you can enter your name for a chance to win a Fendi purse. Plenty of savings on numerous products, serious and services, procedures, from injectables, facial balancing, tattoo removal, skin perfection, hydrofacials, hair restoration, skin rejuvenation, products. We go on and on and on. So it has been postponed because of the weather, the threat of the weather, to next Thursday. So, again, the big event, the Capri event at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, 2 to 9 p.m. next Thursday, June the 25th.
Live at the original Walk-Ons Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Boy, Colucci, Charlie's not happy with you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. What's going
Charlie?
on?
Dwayne, tell me this. How you guys go all the way to Stanley Cup Finals, go to 6 games, and get rid of the coach? Why'd y'all fire John Travolta? He did so good.
No, I'll tell you the truth, Charlie. The buzz was that if he didn't win, he was leaving. So, to live in Las Vegas, that's why I know you don't have Facebook and you don't follow, but on the Vegas Golden Knight page, they had, is it shocking, is it not? And 90% of us kind of knew if he didn't win the Stanley Cup, he was going to leave. I don't think it was a circumstance of firing. And, Charlie, I totally agree with you. I'd much rather have Torts than a minor league coach. I mean, it's like, we're taking like 5 steps back, if you ask me. I mean, you're going from Cassidy, who's probably one of the top 5 coaches in the NHL when he's coaching, and you could see his market value. All these teams interview him as a winner. Who already had won a Stanley Cup, just like Cassidy. So now you're going to a Henderson Silver Knight head coach, and I don't agree with the maneuver. I don't think he's going to be really what this team needs, and I tell you the truth, you might not see him last a whole full season here, Charlie. But I totally agree with you. But it wasn't a firing; it was more Tortorella.
Yeah, and
He's pulling your leg.
I'm just giving you the business because we fire coaches around here, at the drop of a hat. So I just, hey,
the Cowboys,
you make it to the Stanley.
The Cowboys, the Knicks, everybody.
Well, you stay. You get to the Stanley Cup Finals. You did a pretty good job. So I was just giving you a little bit of grief about getting rid of John Travolta.
I'll tell you the truth, 21-6. I wanted them really to make a conscious effort to keep him and to see what played out for a full season. But now, in the off season, Golden Knights have a lot of stuff they have to do, to be honest. And I guess they, made the coaching decision and got that off the table. But I'm not sure it's the right decision. Goaltending has definitely got to be a focal point. Defense, some of these older players with these large contracts, it's going to be very hard, including Aiden Hill, to market these guys on the open market and have takers, and it's going to be tough.
So people over here at Walk-Ons are watching the parade, and they're like, "What's this parade for in New York?" So what's going on? I mean, what is it? What is it? Is there a cause for celebration in New York? What's going on? Huh? Did we get some new school buses?
Like 1 million people here, Jimmy. I'm watching it. It's like 1 billion people. They're on top of school buses, on top of garbage trucks. I mean, it's just a fracas. And I would have probably called on today. I wouldn't have been working. I'm watching it right. Celebration like no other. Done. It's 53 years. What do you expect?
No. It looks like it's quite the festive. I mean, usually it's what?
As long as it's not violent.
Yeah, please. I mean,
Right.
who needs school buses? Let's torch them. I mean, my goodness. So, anyway, it's 4 days to kind of to make sure this thing was straight. I guess so. After some of the celebrations and the
few logistical
potential
things
for
to work out in New York City, I would think.
Okay, but most big cities, it's like 2 days. It's on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's on Thursday. A little extra.
They didn't believe Knicks in 5. They said that, but they didn't really believe it. They were thinking Knicks in 6.
They didn't start organizing until.
Okay.
They
weren't.
I got you.
Not believers.
What was it? The same old on Saturday night, Dwayne? I mean, people just betting on the Knicks in game, just left and right.
Well, we had some good action. A lot of people were betting first quarter and first half stand-in, and second half at the third, fourth quarters on the Knicks. We offer that at Caesar Sports, and we took our lumps. I mean, it was predictable once you started to watch the games. I mean, San Am would jump out to a big lead, were very assertive in the first quarter especially. You're looking at double-digit leads in most of the first quarters. But then as the dust settled and you get to the third and fourth quarter, they started to get a little gassed, a little, confused at what the Knick defense and the Knick offense was throwing at them. They couldn't stop Brunson, and, a key point for the Knicks, the defense was just fabulous in that last game. I mean, you think about it, Castle didn't get his first field goal till about a minute left in the game, and that's just unbelievable. But, it wasn't too favorable for the books, I'll be honest with you. Once the Knicks started to flex in the playoffs, you had those future wagers that we had to take down. And then it was just such a predictable series on each game, like I said, San Ann early on in the games and the Knicks in the second half and so forth. So, you did have a lot of in-game wagers well on the Knicks as they fell behind. But played tremendous. I mean, like true champions. And, it's good to see and get that monkey off our back. I'm not talking a dynasty or anything, but this is a very, very solid Knicks team. And could compete with the Knicks teams, great Knicks teams of the past, back in the 72, 73, and the 90s and so forth. Jalen Brunson is definitely a marquee talent, and, Mark Cuban is definitely scratching his head on how he got rid of this guy, the great businessman, Mark Cuban. And, it definitely it backfired. And even our head coach out here, WNBA head coach, Becky Hammond, had her pie hole wide open. And what does she know about the NBA? I mean, she sat next to Popovich for how many years? I mean, I guess she learned something, but this ain't Asia Wilson. This is the NBA, and a small man could definitely do some damage. We watched it with guys like Iverson and now Jalen Brunson and so forth. And, height has nothing to do with it. It's a will to win and the skill that you put out there and produce on the court. And this team just gelled around Mike Brown, and it's just a true credit to him as well and his coaching staff with Rick Brunson and so forth. So, the Knicks did a tremendous job, front office coaching all on down the line. And the cohesiveness of the team is what brought the title to New York City.
Good thing Jason Kidd, Billy Donovan, and Jay Wright turned it down, huh?
Well, Billy Donovan was a unique situation because I think he actually thought the Knicks might have lost this year, and he was freeing himself up. I think he was definitely going to throw his hat into the ring because, he had that camaraderie with Pitino back in the day. He was actually a New York Knicks player, and people don't realize that was Billy Donovan. From Providence, Pitino put him on the end of the bench and taught him how to coach and everything while they were with the Knicks together and Providence. So I think Billy Donovan definitely thought he was going to be the next Knicks head coach. But now with Mike Brown winning the title, that's going to be off the table. And, Jason Kidd was definitely in the mix. You're right about that. But Knicks front office made so many good decisions, whether it was Brunson, whether it was Bridges, OG giving him that huge contract, Towns. I mean, you have to credit this front office. And finally, James Dolan produced a winner at a Madison Square Garden, so it's good to see him win as well.
Dallas is an easy punching bag because of what's happened with the franchise. But was it really that much outrage there when he left?
No,
he was averaging 16 points a game, and they were going to pay him like he was going to be an all-star. And nobody knew he was going to be an all-star at that point in his career. And he was definitely not going to be the focal point of that team because it was well before they ended up trading Luka, which that's the gap.
But he never gets his chance if Luka's not hurt. You remember?
Correct.
I remember the Utah series. The Utah
very
series.
Good, Charles.
Yeah.
Yes, the Utah series.
So are you willing?
Nuts.
Are you willing just off of that Utah series? I mean, should the Mavericks? It's easy to say now, but to try to go back to then. Should the Mavericks have made that kind of capital outlay for a guy who wasn't going to be their best player? That was going to be Luka, and do it based on a very short sample size. I mean, yeah, of course they made the wrong move. We can say that now, but were we saying that then?
Well, how many wrong moves did they make? I mean, now you don't have Luka. You got an ailing Kyrie who's played, 2 games in the last 3 seasons.
Oh, no, the rest of the moves, look, they should have never traded Luka. I'm with you there. And Kyrie, look, that's always going to be a risk. But did they make, again, obviously now, yeah, of course they made the wrong move. They should have him. But I'm not sure it was as easy a decision 5 years ago as what we're, of course they should have kept him. Yeah, well, I don't remember everybody saying that for Dallas' stake back then.
I certainly remember who I had. I said, they don't have Luka. Give me the Jazz here. So I got and after one, so Brunson can't do that again. Well, game 2 he comes back and gets 41. So I had that one figured out just right, Kaluch. So I mean, but that was funny. I mean he averaged 28 points a game. 5 rebounds, 4 assists in that series. Luka missed the first 3 games. I believe that was the one, too, where, Luka, they went into Phoenix and beat them as an underdog in Game 7 and made it. Did they make it to the NBA Finals that year? Was that the 2022?
It was
Dallas.
It was 2022, but they lost in the conference finals.
Okay, they went to the conference finals.
Yeah, they lost to Golden State.
Golden State. Okay. Colucci still there? Did we lose him?
We lost him.
Okay. We're trying to. Okay. All right. So anyway, I was going to ask him what he thought of the mayor. Mayor speaking out in New York. Did you like him?
Look, they're cheering the mayor. They're cheering James Dolan. It's the Knicks won a championship. Things you never thought you'd see.
No. I was going to also ask him if as he gets caught up in all of this, comparing generations and things like that. The Brunson's in the conversation now. Frazier's got 2. Ewing never won one, but man, he was such a great player for such a long time. The Brunson thing is also talked about as maybe it's going down as maybe the best deal in the history of the NBA. Free agent acquisition, best deal. Remember, they were actually, if anything, they were criticized, but giving him too much money. When he did. He's also a guy that gave up over $100 million in his last deal, 2 or 3 years ago, to allow them to build a supporting cast around him. But I can't say he's the best free agent. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar going from the Bucks to the Lakers, Shaq.
Those were trades, though. This was a free agent signing.
Whatever. The same thing.
Acquisitions.
Yes, the best.
The Lakers technically traded for Kobe. The other thing that was very prevalent at the time was if the Mavericks had gotten more aggressive, that Brunson was going to take anything that was close from the Knicks because his father was on staff there, and still is.
4 years ago.
Yeah,
he's been there that long.
He was on staff, and so he was going to go.
Well, that's why they had the interest in him in the first place.
Yeah,
a little extra.
He was going to go unless Dallas. I mean, they would have had to knock him out of the chair with an offer that was so much more than. That's the way I remember it. Was that the family ties also played a part in that deal?
Well, it's pretty cool, and it was cool to see him and his dad embracing on that. Yeah. Some people are a little bit critical of him. I think, man, when his son's playing and his son's getting involved in it, I think he's still really – I like his body language. I think he's still coaching. You can't tell, if you ask me, that's his kid getting involved in some of the things on the court. I think he's very professional. And I remember him playing at Temple. He played down the Superdome at the Sugar Bowl basketball tournament one year.
And playing for your dad is not the easiest thing to do, even if he's not the head coach. It's not the easiest thing to do.
No.
For either the dad or the kid.
Well, the way he leads his team and how clutch he is makes it a lot easier as well. So don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. If your homeowners association requires wood windows like mine, your first call has to be 288-8138 and call Relief Windows. Relief Windows and their gelled wood windows they're built to last. I mean, the weather, again, it's just nonstop with the severe weather conditions that we have here in South Louisiana. So built using R-Last wood, gelled wood frame windows come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rot and termites. And, again, look good, last, they're functional. It's just the best of both worlds. Get regular windows that are just treated on the surface and not all the way to the core like these are. They're going to rot. They're going to rot quick, and they're not cheap to replace. Do it right the first time. Call Relief Windows, 288-8138, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Saints Hall of Fame making their introductions of their 2026 Hall of Fame class. Saints Hall of Fame is inducting, they're actually talking with the media right now, left tackle Teron Armstead and running back Mark Ingram. Armstead played for the Saints from 13 to 21, third-round pick, three-time Pro Bowl selection, and was part of that Saints team that made it to the NFC Championship game in 2018. Mark Ingram, who, of course, was drafted in the first round in 2011, started 69 games in New Orleans, played in 123, 6,500 rushing yards, 52 touchdowns. Saints all-time leading rusher in 2021 when he broke that record, and that was broken by Alvin Kamara back in 2024. So he's second leading rusher and the second leading in yards from scrimmage. Mark Ingram and Terran Armstead both going into the Saints Hall of Fame. No problem with either one of them. Pretty good.
Oh, you said that on draft day. You loved it.
Did not like the deal. I'll wear that one.
You know what's funny. You know what's funny about that. But think about those two guys. Is you think a different path? You think of two different paths to the NFL.
Oh, a third-round pick out of what? Arkansas Pine Bluff, I think it was.
Well, just Alabama or the SWAC.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
yeah, it's a little bit different circumstances coming in there. Yeah, it was Arkansas Pine Bluff. I was trying to remember which school. Yep. So Armstead and Ingram both going into the Saints Hall of Fame. We're here at the original walk-ons, Burbank and Nicholson. We'll come back. We'll tell you what's going on at the U.S. Open, and Sam Burns off to a good start. Live at the original walk-ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Walk-Ons live at lunch, watching the U.S. Open here. Slight delay to start out this morning. Got about a dozen or so golfers out, and then they shut it down for an hour. But they're back moving again. Shinnecock in New York. Ludwig Ahlberg, 2 under par, just made birdie. He is by himself on the lead. 5 other golfers at 1 under par, including Sam Burns and Patrick Reed, both of whom at 1 under, about halfway through their rounds. Max, what do you see?
I see mayhem. If you like U.S. Open tough conditions, you're getting it because the wind is wreaking havoc. The average score right now is almost 4 3/4 over par. 4.74 strokes over par. We just saw the world number 1, Scotty Scheffler, double bogey. The wind just makes this, so much harder, and they've put some pins in reasonable locations. They did all they could to make it reasonable. They want to keep play going. It was fog that paused earlier. It was not wind that caused it, so they're going to try to keep them out there all day. I don't imagine they're going to finish based on the delay, and the wind will really drag out these rounds, but we'll see if there ends up being any sort of wave advantage. I think, if anything, the delay makes it a little more level. We thought the AM wave might have a slight advantage, but since they got pushed back into more of the wind, I don't think that'll be a factor. If anything, we might see the late afternoon guys post a lower round and get a first-round lead. But, I mean, you've got a stretch of holes 7 through 10 where all of them are playing on average about a half a shot over par. I mean, it is brutal, but I don't expect it to be like this all week long, the wind at least. But they are going to get to use some harder pin locations that they might have been able to save from today. So if you wanted an over par winning score, you might get it. You might get it. The over-under coming into the tournament was right at 2.5 or 1.5 actually under par. It was juiced, I think, if you had a 2.5. But we're expecting this to be right around even par, the winning score, and so far only 7 guys right now under par for the round.
Some of the biggest names: Scotty Scheffler's over par, Tommy Fleetwood
over
par,
3, not just 1. He's 3 over.
Who went?
Scotty.
He just went to 3.
I'm sorry. Doubled.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he 3 over, and so that's one of the big. How little consideration did all of our contributors give to Scotty Scheffler? It's about as least of a chance of giving him in one of the. You can throw the elevated, the major, whatever. I mean, his form is not great, and I mean, it's still better than a lot of people, but it just didn't seem like the other thing that is consistent, he has had some rough Thursdays, and here we go again. There's Oberg just hit about a 25-foot putt, I'd say, Max. exactly 22 feet maybe. So to go 2 under, there's 7 or 8 guys at 1 under, 7 or 8 guys at even par, and then Scheffler's distant right now, and you can't help it. I mean, it's Shinnecock, Scotland. It looks like. I mean, this thing is dreary. The wind is whipping, and the court. You know, a lot of people talked about they had to try and soften up these greens. They had to try and give them easier pin placements to not make it ridiculously hard for what as Max alluded to earlier. As far as the winning scores, not just U.S. Opens, but here at Shinnecock, and there's been 4 of them. 1 even par, a stroke over par by Koepka, 1 under par by Raymond Floyd, and then a -4 by Retief Goosen. So with it playing, that's normal conditions. Don't you think you got a shot to even when you take the, I guess the over on the 272 or whatever it is?
It was 277.5, I believe.
Okay, so
means
with
2 under or worse would win. If
so 1.5 under is the over under.
It was. I saw 278.5, 277.5. Depends where you got it.
Yeah, I saw 2.5 or 1.5. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you have a real chance in that this is the hardest venue that they probably play yearly. Now, I will say it's typical on Long Island, right near the ocean, for this to get a little windy, but not to this level. Wow. Okay, it normally dries out. It normally gets windy, and one of the things they're doing is actually They called it, I think it's squeegeeing or watering. They're syringing. That's what they call it. Syringing the greens, which means they're watering them. The idea is not to really soften them. It's just to keep the grass from dying because it can dry out so quickly, and that's what's happened to these greens where they lost the greens, and it was basically you were unable to keep it on the greens. You were putting it off the greens. It's because it dries out so quickly at this location with the turf and with the wind that you just can't keep grass growing.
They're slowing them down.
In this case, they are.
They're slowing them down because, basically, if you want to, what do they do to give a speed?
The stimp meter, they were about 10.5.
They basically went down like 20%.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, but it's also to keep the greens from completely dying and to keep some of these pin locations that they have in mind. They don't want to lose the course like they have twice at Shinnecock Hills in the past.
Hey, people for the British Open got to be pissed, huh? I mean, the place looks terrible, dreary weather. I mean, it just looks like the Open, huh?
It kind of does. It's link style type of test.
I mean,
you're going to see, a guy like Sam Burns, who's a better wedge player than he is with his long irons. His long irons, he's struggled over his career in many of these instances, and that's why he's finally starting to get the major resume that you would want from him. For a while he couldn't do that. This is a shorter golf course, I would say, compared to some of the U.S. Open venues. You're going to have wedges in your hands. There are four holes, actually 6 holes, that are playing at even par or easier. So there are some gettable birdie chances because you're going to have some scoring clubs in your hand. And a big part of that is just how dry these fairways are. You can get quite a bit of roll to where you've got 80 yards, 100 yards into some of these greens, and that favors perhaps somebody like a Sam Burns. The problem is with the wind, that kind of balances it out a little bit because the higher you hit the ball, the more wedges you're hitting, the more the wind affects you. So you've got to be careful, and that's one of the reasons a lot of us were down on Scottie Scheffler is his spin rate is a little bit higher this year. He's hitting the ball higher, it's spinnier, it's going out to the right a little bit more curvature, more spin. That gets affected more than anything in the wind. And so he's a Texas golfer that should suit the wind, but this year, the way he's been playing, the form that he's in, doesn't necessarily suit this type of windy test.
Spinnier. You ever not hear a word ever before in your life but knew exactly what it meant when you heard it? Spinnier? That's a new one for me. Is that common?
That might not be a word. It might not be a word. It might be more spin, but
it's not a word. Even I know that. Okay.
It wouldn't hold up a challenge in Scrabble, but I knew what he meant. Right? Spinnier.
Are you looking it up, Max?
I am. Spinnier is the comparative form of the informal adjective spinny.
Yeah, that's not what you meant. We knew what you meant. Spinnier.
Spinnier's a word. Come on.
I don't know that it is. I'm looking.
What do you look? I mean, you can look.
That was an AI. AI was trying to help me out.
AI is not 100%.
I'm not seeing it in a Merriam-Webster.
It's the ultimate. It's the ultimate onomatopoeia, right? Sounds like, right? Sounds like.
Spinniness
I knew it
is a word, but it doesn't look like spinnier.
J.J. Spawn is also 3 over par.
It looks like he's selling ice cream.
Won this event last year. Came out and bogeyed 3 out of the 3 out of the first 4 holes today. Rory is hanging in there, though. He's even par through 10, which is great today,
What about
right?
Patrick Reed?
Again,
Patrick Reed is right there.
I can't emphasize enough. If you bet a guy or you've got a guy in your pool and Scotty Scheffler's 3 over par, that's above the scoring average. That's a decent round.
Right?
It's not a great round.
Plus 3 is above
Plus
average right now.
4.74 is the current average score right there. Now there
But
are
you got
some amateurs.
but you got some that are just bad that affect that curve a little bit.
There are.
So
There's
you're
some
saying
amateurs that qualify.
But you think he's where compared to the amount of the golfers today?
To the talented pros.
How many on the course today so far?
Well, right now
at
it's
80.
going to be about
80.
Yeah, about half.
Okay, so
the
is he
field.
about
Yeah.
40th?
He
That's
is
close.
Oh boy, I lost my leaderboard. We're looking at Scheffler 3 over right now is 42nd.
Okay,
tied
yeah,
for 42nd.
yeah.
So he's average, and
Yeah.
and now he's got.
I wouldn't say.
more
I'd say
holes.
it's average. Because some of these guys could shoot 10,
And
11
we could
over.
see it get
and-
harder in the afternoon. I mean, we
Yeah, what are those
expected
guys
this to be
thinking?
about 5 shots over par. So, as crazy as it sounds, you've got some guys at 6 over par right now. A couple of my picks, unfortunately. Chris Goddard, Siwoo Kim. They're not out of the tournament yet because if they post a 5 under par round or 5 over par round, that's about scoring average today. So you could post some 3 good rounds the rest of the way and have a chance. The winning score, you got to play the long game. You got to be patient. If the winning score is going to be even, 6 over par is not ideal, but it doesn't necessarily take you
All right,
completely
real
out of the
quick.
tournament.
When's the last time you wore a cardigan to a round of golf?
I actually own a cardigan.
Okay, that's fine.
I've
Yeah,
been
when's the
planning
last
on
time
it.
you wore one to play golf?
I'll do it once a winter. Once a winter.
You
I'll
do
it.
wear a
Yeah,
cardigan to play golf?
I will.
Really? Okay. All right.
It works.
Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleetwood, yeah. He kind of rocks it better than me.
If you lived on Long Island, how many times would you wear it?
Arnold Palmer used to wear a
That's
cardigan
it's
all
a
the time.
different era.
It
Just
is.
slightly, huh? How long ago
Throwback, classic look, Tommy's a classy guy. I don't know. Maybe
If you lived on Long Island, how many times would you wear it a year?
more often.
Yeah, I mean,
You're in the Hamptons. I mean, come on, you gotta spice things up a little
I
bit.
sold my house up there. I was just, the taxes were just too much.
You were at the Knicks. You had to spend it all
Who's
on Knicks
paired up with
tickets.
Oberg? Who's playing with him?
Ooh, good question. He's
Yeah,
on.
Max.
You're stumping me here today.
Golly.
Who else is in his group?
Ricky Fowler, Keegan Bradley, Tommy Fleetwood, all of those are right about the same spot on the golf
Times.
course. Right there.
Ludwig.
Tell you what, you looked that up.
Because
I need to-
it's a dirty trick, huh?
What's that?
I mean, I tell him. I mean, if you believe in gamesmanship, maybe throwing off your playing partner. He's a leader right now.
With a cardigan?
Tell him it's Sunday.
Oh. Rory and Tommy. It's the all-Euro pairing. Rory, Oberg, Fleetwood, they're all doing pretty well. At,
So we got
1 over
cheap
par
speed, all fashion recycles itself. So I understand, But anyway, a cardigan, cheap speed, and who else? And a guy that's, it's got
career
the
Grand Slam
Slam
winner. Yes,
Yes.
who he mentioned before as well. He had a U.S. Open win at Congressional where the conditions were super easy. It played soft. It was not a traditional U.S. Open. It was one of the worst U.S. Opens you could have if you care about scoring at all. And he even talked about that a little bit this week. He's like, I want to validate my U.S. Open. I want a real U.S. Open, one that's testing like we know a U.S. Open is. And that's something that he's looking for. As much as he has a career Grand Slam, he's got to find ways to motivate himself. And his argument is that, well, I've got to validate this. I will say Tommy Fleetwood did have a 63, closing around 63, finished runner-up here in 2018. So he showed he could go low at Shinnecock Hills. It was a bit of a easier scoring day that day, but 63 at any U.S. Open
How's
is
Hatton
very,
doing?
very impressive.
Did he start yet?
Hatton is off.
He's 2 over.
He is currently 2 over. He was right there at even earlier, but he doubled 18, and I guess he made a bogey on 3 as well. He's started on the back 9.
This
Round one leader, Oberg is plus 400 to be the first round leader.
This Sunday is Father's Day. Thibodeau Store, help you out. Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part store, open in La Rose and Lockport. Father's Day gifts made easy. You can go to the website right now, same-day pickup. So you can go and do your shopping, go in and pick your items up. Tool deals from Milwaukee, from DeWalt, from Channel Lock, and many more. They've had their demonstrations over the last week or so, and now you can go in and get these deals for Dad. Custom-made Cypress furniture at the Thibodeau Store. benches, gliders, swings, all of your chairs that are made from Cypress are available at the Thibodeau store. Outdoor cooking equipment, all the way from your small grills all the way up to your big green egg cookers, patio furniture, poolside furnitures, power tools, hand tools, tool boxes, tool carriers, name it. You have it at the Thibodeau store. Fishing.
So when's
gear.
Max's dad going to pick me up so we can go pick out our own stuff? Because we know our kids ain't getting us crap.
Well, maybe carve some time out on Saturday.
Max, get your dad something. I mean, don't be a deadbeat kid.
Working on it.
I mean, come on. He deserves something nice. I mean, tools. He likes tools. I've seen him work his tools before, Max.
He does.
Okay? All right.
Big old banner right there at the front of the website. Father's Day gifts made
actually,
easy.
when he picks me, just give him your credit card. We'll go put out stuff. I'll take Ethan's credit card, too. Go pick out our own stuff.
Well, you're getting the bill as it is. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, Highway 70 in Pierreport, LaRose, and Lockport as well. And online, all 4 sites go to thethibodeaustore.com. Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we return here at Walk-Ons. We're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, you need those questions answered. You want to have some peace of mind. Let Phil Fontenot and his staff do for you what they've done for our family, which is put you on a path that is going to make you feel real good about where you're headed, no matter what your age is or your income level. They'll tailor make a plan that has you real comfortable about where you're headed. When do you want to retire? What kind of returns are you expecting when you retire? What do you need? What type of lifestyle are you going to lead once that day comes? Let them help you out there. CoastalCapitalADV.com is where you can go to make an appointment. Let them talk to you and get you on the right path towards financial security in your retirement. Coastal Capital Advisors, CoastalCapitalADV.com, member FINRA, SIPC. Well, this just came in from LSU baseball, and this is something I'm tickled to see. Lloyd Peaver has been inducted into the College Baseball Hall of Fame. Lloyd, Jimmy and I both know, still lives here. Had one of, and you can make a very good argument, the best season that any pitcher in LSU baseball has ever had. He had one season here, 1992. But in that season, Lloyd Peaver went 14-0, and for a prerequisite amount of starts, he's the only pitcher in LSU baseball history to have an undefeated record with that many starts. He had an ERA of 1.98. He threw 104 innings in his 15 starts. So he's about a 7-inning guy, 116 strikeouts and only 20 walks. And that 92 team was sandwiched in between the first 2 national championship teams, Jimmy. But I think as much as anything, that team was SEC champs. They were 50-16, and really what kind of hamstrung them is they got sent one of the best. What happened to the 92 team will never happen again today, because what happened was they sent one of the very best teams, the team that ended up winning the national championship, to Baton Rouge as a 2-seed that year. Not because they were a 2-seed, but because back then regional host sites depended as much on finances as it did on your record. And Cal State Fullerton, who in today's game would be a top 8 national seed, maybe the number 1 national seed overall, was sent here as a 2-seed. That would never happen today. If not for that, the 92 team could very well have ended up in Omaha. And he was their leader that season. I want
to say 25 years ago, too, a guy from South Carolina brought in a similar record, too. So where did he finish that year? 15-0?
14-0.
14-0. And a guy, he was either 13-0 or 14-0, and it was a 1-8 matchup. I think South Carolina was the 1 seed that year. They might have been one of their national championship seasons, and got beat by Kentucky. And so in the SEC, I think Peaver still has the best record as well. Lloyd would remember. Yeah. I know that. So a friend of mine, he did some radio with us as well, but we'll have him on soon to ask it, but I know he'll remember. The other thing is that 92 team Charlie, our star, he didn't have a great postseason. Todd Walker. He did not have it. I think it was his first regional.
It was freshman year.
Yeah, and I mean, I hate to nitpick on Todd because he's in the conversation as the greatest hitter to ever come through this very proud program. But he did not have it great. And then 93, he busted out, baby.
Yeah.
He busted out. And, when they, in Omaha, the comeback against A&M, he hits the grand slam to the Oppo alley. I mean, to start it off in the national championship game on Saturday, the duo, just one game, he starts off with a 2-run homer that almost hit the Henry Dorley Zoo. I mean, the comeback game against Long Beach State, they decided to pitch to him. First pitch, I mean, he hits a rocket off the first baseman or whatever for the game-winning RBI. So, but that 92, because if we're looking for, what happened, he didn't have his best, he didn't have his best postseason.
And you can't talk about Lloyd Peavers' season that year without mentioning, Jimmy, what I still think is
the Ole Miss line drive.
The scariest play I've seen on a college baseball field. He took a line drive. It was clocked. I looked this up. I didn't remember the mile per hour, but it was 93 miles an hour. It was a game against Ole Miss, like you said, and he only missed 2 games out of that, but he went down, and I can't describe it any other way other than the scariest thing I've ever seen on a college baseball field. I mean, I was genuinely concerned for his long-term well-being when I saw that shot. So he made it back 2 starts later. Anyway.
So he went 14-0 and missed 2 starts.
And missed 2 starts, after that, coming back in there.
Seminole Junior College?
Yeah. Oklahoma. Seminole State Junior College. Man, I had forgotten about it. It's easy to forget about how good that team was because they didn't go to the World Series. They were 50-16. They won the SEC regular season title and they won the SEC tournament title, and they were in the regional here. And this game I do remember. They lost to Ohio State on that Friday.
Yeah.
Ohio State had some kid who was throwing basically what amounted, if I remember this right, amounted to a knuckleball. And LSU was.
I don't remember. I thought he was a big guy. I thought he was a big guy.
It might not have been a knuckleball, but it just his off-speed stuff. He shut LSU out. I don't think he pitched the whole game. He pitched most of it, and they were swinging out of their shoes. And this guy just had a ball that danced, and it put him in the losers bracket. And by the time they got to Fullerton, they were a little bit used up. 11-0. They got blasted. So you had a little bit of a different circumstances. That team's a World Series
Phil
team.
Nevin, Dante Powell on the Cal State Fullerton team too.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
The only the questions was that 92 team better than the 95 at Fullerton? They both won national titles. You had the Nevin team and you had the Kotze team, who also came to Baton Rouge. But the 95 LSU team wasn't as good as the 92 LSU team. The 92 team was way better.
92 Fullerton lost to Pepperdine.
Is that right? I thought they won the national title.
Pepperdine beat Cal State Fullerton 2-1.
Did they? Okay.
Andy Lopez.
All right, I'm getting my years mixed up now because Pepperdine did win the national title. That's right. The 95 Fullerton team.
Let me make sure,
won
but
the national title.
I don't think Fullerton won more. How many times did Fullerton win?
3 times under Augie.
3 times?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if they won one under. I think Horton won one too, didn't he?
Not sure.
Yeah, I think he did. After Augie had left for Texas, I think they won one more after that. Nevin was the first pick in the draft. Kotze was the first pick in the draft. They both came to Baton Rouge. They both won the regionals here and went to Omaha.
It wasn't 2-1, it's 3-2.
Pepperdine beat them. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. I had forgotten that. They were
Andy Lopez.
Andy Lopez, who one of very few coaches to have won national championships at multiple spots. That's a pretty short.
He won at Florida? Where did he go after Florida? Arizona?
Arizona, yeah.
But he didn't win one there, huh?
No, I'm sorry. He did win one at Arizona. He
didn't win one at Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Him, Augie. It's a real short list of guys that have have won a national championship at more than one spot. And we got to know him a little bit because Florida was up there a lot. We ended up interacting with him a lot. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and a heck of a baseball coach. Well, you know what? I learned something today because I sure thought that 92 team had won it, but I do remember Pepperdine.
79 Fullerton titles. 79.
That was Augie.
84.
That was Augie.
95, and then again in 2004.
2004 was Horton, yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Anyway, congratulations to Lloyd. That's a tremendous honor, and that season's one for the books here at LSU.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So remind everybody over here at Walk-Ons again. Got some great summer cocktail specials, man. You know, different spritzes and including the Malibu margarita, which comes in a World Cup souvenir cup. You can't help but check out the World Cup. You know, all of the flags that we have for the participating teams, and they got the games on around the clock. You know, 11 a.m. to basically, 1 p.m. So I mean, it's like 12, 14 hours a day. They don't no competition, and they give. I don't know if everybody likes, but I guess the studio shows, they sell in those as well. But they give about an hour in between. Good thing about the World Cup is it lasts right at 2 hours. It's not gonna go over in overtime or extra innings and things like that. But it's a lot of fun over here. We've got the U.S. Open on as well. Oberg with a one-stroke lead. Through 11 right now at Shinnecock. Sam Burns is one of those people just one off as he's hitting an approach shot on a par 4. So he's got to get up and down for a par here in the windy conditions. So lots going on. And, of course, College World Series Championship Saturday, Sunday, and possibly Monday. Don't forget our friends down the street at Burbank. Burbank at Bluebonnet, one of the newest locations at United Community Bank. With locations all the way from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, we've been serving the people of South Louisiana for over 50 years. A great team of bankers at United Community Bank. Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, and Prentice Wilkes. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at the original Walk-Ons Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Burns misses the par putt, so he will go back to even par. He is through 13 holes now.
Sam's a far one now. I mean, it was
that?
About 30 feet. Huh?
Yeah, it was
a layup.
Long.
Couldn't reach the green.
Sam Stevens has joined Alberg at 2 under on the lead right now. Max, who's he?
He's played well on actually some of the tougher tracks out there. He plays really well in the wind. He's played well in some of the alt-field events like Puerto Rico.
Well, welcome to Long Island.
He's in the wind, and it makes sense because he's from Wichita, Kansas, where they get quite a bit of wind up in the plains. So he's a good wind player, and so far so good for Sam Stevens as Patrick Reed does a 360 around the hole to make par on the tough par 3 11th.
And Rory with a birdie at 12, I guess you would say. He's on the back.
His third hole.
The front 9 is his back 9. He's 1 under par for the tournament, so he's within a stroke of the lead. We're going to do a podcast a little bit later on this afternoon in our preview for the College World Series finals. Max, the Cord Rager for Oklahoma has kind of come from out of nowhere, but his stats for the year are a little bit better than I thought when you're talking about him going up against Jason DeCaro, who's just been lights out for North Carolina. There's some evidence that Rager is – I think the magic is with Oklahoma, but even from a straight number standpoint, he's really put some nice stuff on the board here last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I like Rager in Oklahoma in Game 1 for more reasons than just the hitting and the run that they're on. I mean, Rager, a lot of the advanced stats has the advantage over DeCaro. Now, look, at the end of the day, ERA and record are what's looked at the most, right? If you did a
ERA
tape
for sure.
of pitchers, you're going to look at, well, what's their record, what's their ERA, and DeCaro has a significant advantage there. 2.3 ERA to a 4.7 ERA for Rager. But, Rager's got 22 less innings pitched, but he's almost got the same amount of strikeouts, and he's got half the walks. So he's got a much, much better strikeout-to-walk ratio. The opponent batting average is 20 points worse against Rager, so he's better there. And you look at some of the fielding independent pitching and stuff like that takes into account how big your park plays and some of the things about just fielding, errors and whatnot. He's got the advantage in expected fielding independent pitching by a whole run. So there's a lot to like about Cord Rager here. Coming from the left side, I'm not sure what North Carolina's stats are against lefties, but nevertheless, I look at the way Rager's pitching right now and the confidence that he has as they finally found their starter, and you look at the whole. And I think Rager and DeCaro are what and what, despite the ERA. I think the advanced analytics say that Rager could be even a better pitcher, perhaps.
And I don't. I just don't. I don't believe that. And I'm picking Oklahoma because I just think that, like I said, that there's something magical going on there. Rager threw 7 shutout innings against Alabama and 6 shutout innings, 1 hit against Kansas. So I can't say that he has not been phenomenal the last 2 outings. But before that, he gave up 3 runs in 6 innings to the Citadel. Okay, nothing wrong with that. It's the Citadel. Follow me into the last 4 weeks of the regular season. He gave up 6 runs against Tennessee at home in 4 innings. He gave up 4 runs in 5 against Arkansas. He gave up 4 in 4 against Florida. He gave up 4 in 3 against Auburn. I mean, the last month of the regular season, this guy's given up a run an inning. And all of a sudden in the last 3 weeks, not unlike Oklahoma as a whole, he has all of a sudden become he's found himself. Jimmy, we were reminiscing a minute ago about guys that came from kind of out of nowhere in the postseason, and we always talk about Trey Hodges, but Hodges was hurt. He just finally got healthy in the regular season. This
Hodges is a pro.
Yeah,
come on. And
had he not been injured in the regular season, we kept asking Skip, "What's the deal? What's the
big,
deal?"
strong guy.
Yeah.
He listen. The young and Wayne setup that they had there, 1 and 1A, and they were going to throw them about half the game apiece.
Yeah.
And it worked out that way for Stanford. I mean, talent and Hodges were every bit as good. A very, very.
Well, both of those guys pitched in the major leagues. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they were not quite as heralded. Did LSU have to play one more game than Stanford, or they both were undefeated?
No,
they're both undefeated. So yeah, they both had them both rested. I mean, the crazy thing is, if yes, with Paul Skeens doing what he's doing in Major League Baseball, started the All-Star game first 2 years, Rookie of the Year and Cy Young. He's not going to win a Cy Young this year, but he may have a Cy Young or 2 in his future. Still, he was one of the most respected teams. They tells him, they on their championship series, LSU won 2 out of 3 and he didn't throw one pitch.
Yeah.
Nobody from the peripheral, no baseball fan, Major League Baseball fan would guess that.
Now let me take the other side here on Rager for just a second. Maybe take Max's side a little bit. We're talking about a 6'6", 240-pound lefty who's a freshman.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, he's a freshman. Maybe it took him just this long to figure out. He wouldn't be the first guy who struggled early in his freshman year, maybe even deep into his freshman year, and then figured it out.
The room for improvement over the course of the season is greater for freshmen.
And Charlie, just to emphasize, I talked about some of the advanced stats, but one of my main points in this, the one thing you can't do, especially with we're expecting the wind to blow in about 8 to 12 miles an hour in game 1. You can't walk guys. You just can't afford to walk players in Omaha. And guess what? The strikeout to walk ratio, they've got about the same amount of strikeouts, despite the 20 less innings that Rager's pitched, 89 and 93. So Rager's got a strikeout to walk ratio of 89 to 19.
Yeah.
DeCaro has 93 to 41. So double the walks and basically the same amount of strikeouts. So a guy who's going to give free passes, perhaps, in a ballpark that might not allow many runs, and there probably won't be any balls that leave the yard, certainly not like we saw yesterday. I think this matchup
let's not make it out that it is slight, if anything, Max. Let's not make out that DeCaro is in poor form right now.
No.
I mean, how quick was that complete game shutout done on Saturday afternoon on Belmont Day against USC, who was white hot? I mean, white hot. That game was over quick. He went the whole way. His team needed it, every bit of it, just to give him a chance to come back in Game 3. And then he goes to Omaha and has another good performance. He's in great form right now.
He is. He's going up against some bats in form as well, though. This is more about Rager for me than it is about Dakar. Dakar is a great pitcher. I don't mean to slight him in any way, but
no. You make a point about the walks. He's walked 2 guys in the last 5 games. It's right at 30 innings. Okay, you walk 2 guys in 30 innings. You have command of. And you mentioned
Rager.
Strikeout. Yeah, Rager has. Yeah, so you're right. He's not walking people, and that.
No, it's part of he is a much improved pitcher, but DeCaro is stepping it up in money time as well.
Yes.
How much is it? Because they're facing elimination when he took the hill, in the Super Regional against USC.
Right.
They blew that lead in Game 1, and I mean it was, to me, that's the most impressive pitcher performance I've seen in the whole damn tournament. Complete game shutout against that team?
Against USC, yeah. That was.
I mean, who else has a complete game shutout? If you want to start with that. Versus a team that really was playing well.
Your boy from Georgia gave up 1 run in 9 innings, and it was unearned. Volchko against Texas. I put that one right there. Now that's in Omaha.
That's in Omaha, and
easier
that's
part
not
to
on
pitch
campus.
But 1 run unearned against Texas. I'll put that one in the conversation.
No, sure. Different park. I mean, we see this happen, and you've seen a bunch are in the conversation in just this tournament in Omaha. It's just you rarely see that on a college campus.
They scored 14 runs the next game.
On a college campus.
Yeah,
the wind is shifting from game to game.
And the pitching.
I mean, they're 10-4 to the under. Okay, here's the win. What do we say? Might have a record day. Well, it falls 1 short of the most home runs ever hit in one day, and both games went over. I mean, the win is a major factor in this World Series.
It's a major factor in every game that's played in that park. Most of the games that are played in that park, because to get those kind of home run numbers, you have to have a little bit. You have to have a little bit of help. You like Oklahoma in the series as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too. I can't tell you that you're going to get. Let me talk about the second pitcher here for a second. And I'm assuming that they are going to throw Xander Mercurius. Jimmy, that was his first win.
I know. I know.
And I'm
sure,
taking
George.
him. I'm taking him too, but that was his.
George is such a choke, man. I mean, I'm sorry. It's such a choke. So.
But this kid had to go out there. I mean, an ERA of 5.5, and he goes out there, and he handcuffs this lineup for 7 1/3 innings. I mean, he gave up 3 runs.
And our buddy Benny Latino is a scout, and talked about that how Oklahoma finally challenged and pitched inside and didn't pitch scared against him. We appreciate Benny, contributing it. And they did. If you listen to Peterson and Burke doing it, they talked about how. Man, he's attacking. He's attacking his own. Yeah, he is pitching, not pitching with a whole lot of fear. But yes, I mean, that's. And you watch him against Kansas. They scratched the Gauss a couple of runs the first game. I mean, because Mercurius got the start in Game 1 or Game 2. Game 2. Game 2, and they start off with a run or two on the bottom of the first. But Kansas started to get challenging. He wasn't. I don't know how long can he throw that off-speed stuff for strikes the way he's been. That's what he's really been on a roll as of late. Now he seemed like he threw more fastballs against Georgia in Omaha, but in Lawrence, man, he was throwing a lot of backward stuff, and he was just throwing it all for strikes. So he's the form. I like Oklahoma's lineup too. I think they have a nice blend of power and speed. They got some guys that can run, and they will put some things into play. So
he threw a lot more pitches, period, in the Georgia game than Kansas City, like 40 more pitches.
So it went about 5 innings in Kansas.
4.
Yeah. It seemed like they were like, okay, we got away with 4 innings. Let's just get him out. So how many times has he gone more than 5 innings this season?
More than 5 innings.
To even give him a chance to qualify for a win if his team was winning, which they lost 2 out of 3 of the last 4 series.
3 total.
3 total.
And you wonder if
And so this is this the longest he's gone against Georgia?
Oh yeah,
a couple nights ago
by an inning and change, and that's something to be keep an eye on. Go back to the start before Kansas, which he made against Georgia Tech. He threw 100 pitches. He hung in there for 5 2/3 innings against Georgia Tech. Now he gave up 5 runs, but that was at Georgia Tech. Off of that 100 pitches, which was the first time he had gone that anywhere close to that in 2 months, he only throws 65. So now he's coming off of 104 pitches. That was Monday, and so you're going to put him in on a full week's rest, but coming off of 104 pitches.
Another key thing in a series like this, the status of Dayton LaChance. He's been limping around the bases, and it's worked for them. They've made it survive, but there was a moment, I forget which game, it might have been the Georgia game, where it was a tight game in the 8th inning.
It was last night.
Was it last night?
The one where he did well. It wasn't the 8th inning. It was I think it was the 7th. There's a ball that's mishandled in right field. It's a double. He was at first base. The ball is mishandled in right field. They don't send him. 2 pitches after that, there's a wild pitch. I mean, and if you know this stadium a little bit, the amount of ground behind home plate is significant. So a wild pitch is going to score, and they don't send him.
So, but you're right about that. I'm actually referencing the Tuesday game against Texas, a tight game, a 2-0 game where insurance runs would have been nice. And in the 8th inning, they do not pinch run for him, which I thought was a little bit of a surprise. Now, granted, you got him in the 9th inning behind the plate. You want his defensive ability, but they end up he probably would have scored. They would have been up 3-0. Now, it didn't end up mattering, but he gets caught, at second, and they can't send him on a.
You're right. He almost can't run. Those were 2 almost automatics yesterday.
Well,
they don't send him. They don't send him either time.
So those are 2 runs.
I was surprised about that too. I thought it was real hesitant.
Very conservative.
So,
yes. Just
how healthy can it be in a week's time? Can that ankle be enough to where he can at least run the bases, or is that going to be a factor in this series?
When your AC needs repair, wouldn't it be nice to know the job is covered for life? Call Total Maintenance at 480-0007, 480-0007, and ask about our lifetime warranty on all repair work. That's right, peace of mind long after the technician leaves your home. That's the Total Maintenance way. Total Maintenance, your total lifesaver. 480-0007. That's 480-0007 and tm-ac.com.
Live at the original Walk-Ons Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at the original Walk-Ons Live at Lunch. Yesterday, one of the best coaches in the history of college athletics, forget about any individual sport, hung him up. Pat Henry, the long time.
I thought you were going to say Tortorella.
John Travolta? They should have kept him. Pat Henry, who won 10 national championships with Texas A&M, but 27 with LSU. The first coach in NCAA history with double-digit national titles at 2 separate schools in any sport. Henry, who was the head coach at LSU from 1988 to 2004, has been at A&M since then. 3 NCAA men's indoor titles, 8 men's outdoor titles, 10 women's indoor titles, and I got a 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 women's outdoor championships. Jimmy, we remember Pat Henry from his time here. Yeah. I mean, it was almost, for a while it was almost automatic. The women won 10 in a row.
Yeah.
They went from 88 to 97. They won every women's outdoor title here. And at least one of those years, he won 3 out of the 4. Let me see if I can get this right. 1989, he wins the women's indoor, the women's outdoor, the men's outdoor, all in the same season.
What year did he?
Room for this guy.
Early 2000s is when he went to
2004 was his last year at LSU.
Yeah, it's funny because, and I remember it well because, 2005 was Katrina. And the reason I bring that up is my power and my cable were back up 12 hours later, and most people were not. And so it seemed like we had a lot of guests, watching U.S. Open
Air
football.
conditioning attracts people.
And TV, so, but his daughter was there, and it's like, he had to go to college station what they offered him, salary.
There was a considerable
resources.
discrepancy in the offers.
It was a no-brainer for him. And he wants. Could he win any more? Were people even excited about it anymore? Oh, they won again.
That's how it was. Yeah.
They won again. Kind of deal. So, and he went there, and but how many coaches? Lane Kiffin went from Ole Miss to LSU, not just for his salary, which he did not, but it's all the things that come up with budget and stuff like that they're gonna. So we seen it. Tommy Tuberville was going to leave Auburn for LSU, for staff money and budget. Some budgeting and things like that. Now we know now with the NIL. Well, yeah, it's obvious now, but that was a time where, what do you need budget for? You went, well, they're going to pay me. Then they're going to give me more. It's going to make it easier. And we talk about now, so tennis is foreign dominated. We're in the men's semifinals. Those 6 courts or 6 singles courts for those 4 teams. 21 of the 24 players playing singles were foreign.
Yeah.
This is old hat as far as the foreign. The international recruiting budget for track and field.
I can remember being in Omaha in 96, 97, and we would get word because, the coverage of this stuff was pretty minimal at the time. But it'd be like, okay, LSU's playing for the national championship in baseball. Yeah, they won another track title. Oh, they won another. How many is this in a row? 7, 8, 9. You imagine winning 10 national titles in a row in anything? How hard that is, and he did that in women's outdoor.
They still coach the men and women.
Yeah,
the all track that's common for the.
I don't know about anybody else,
but he did.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Is that still common? What I'm asking.
I have no idea.
Was it common then, or he just did?
I couldn't tell you how many coach both sides of it across the country.
Does he coach the men and women? Did he coach the men and women at A&M?
Yes,
the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm trying to read through to make sure I'm telling you right, but yeah, I think so. That's the way I'm reading it. They were Big 12. Yeah. Looks like it, unless I'm mistaken. Anyway, Pat Henry retires at the age of 74. Thanks to the folks here at Walk-Ons for being our hosts today. Our longtime friends here at the original Burbank and Nicholson. Tomorrow we are at Ruffino's on Highland Road. We'll get you set for the National Championship Series. From all of us here, Jordan back in the studio. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and stay tuned for Hunt 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.